Imagine you are standing on the deck of the most powerful warship ever built. The USS Bunker Hill, a 27,000-ton floating city of steel, radar, and firepower. But right now, this city is dying. It has been hit by 2 kamikazes in 30 seconds. It is burning from the inside out. But the fire isn't the thing that's going to kill it. The real killer is silent, invisible, and happening deep below your feet. The water being used to fight the fire is trapping itself inside the hull. The ship's massive pumps are dead. The Bunker Hill is tilting. It is listing. It is minutes away from capsizing and taking 3,000 men to the bottom of the Pacific. For more untold World War II stories like this, make sure to subscribe. The engineers are out of ideas. The officers are paralyzed. And then, May 11th, 1945, the Pacific Ocean. The US Navy is closing in on Japan, and the Japanese are responding with the divine wind, the Kamikaze. At 10 a.m., the Bunker Hill is relaxed. Then, out of the clouds, a Zero fighter dives. The gunners spot it too late. It smashes through the flight deck and explodes in the hangar bay, instantly turning fully fueled American planes into bombs. 30 seconds later, before the crew can even breathe, a second kamikaze, a Judy dive bomber, slams into the flight deck right next to the command tower. The devastation is total. Command is severed. Hundreds are dead instantly. Aviation fuel is pouring through the decks like liquid lava, setting the ship on fire from the inside. But this is where the real problem begins. To fight a fire this big, you need water. Millions of gallons of it. Destroyers pull up alongside and blast the carrier with water cannons. The crew sprays hoses into every hatch. They are drowning the fire. But the water has nowhere to go. The explosions have destroyed the ship's electrical systems. The massive bilge pumps, designed to suck water out, are dead. The water starts to pile up, hundreds of tons of it, and it's pooling on one side of the ship. The Bunker Hill starts to lean. First 5 degrees, then 10. The physics are simple and terrifying. If the ship lifts too far, it will roll over. The officers are facing a nightmare choice. Keep fighting the fire and sink the ship with water, or stop the water and let the ship burn. In a smoke-filled room, officers are screaming at each other. They are discussing complex engineering solutions. Counterflooding? Impossible. The valves are melted. Cutting holes in the hull? Too dangerous. Standing in the corner is Seaman First Class Joseph McCaffrey. He's a nobody. He's not an engineer. He's just a guy from Pittsburgh. But he sees something the officers don't. He sees that they are looking for a technological solution to a problem that technology caused. He speaks up. "Why don't we use buckets?" The room goes silent. Then they dismiss him. "Buckets? Sailor, this is a 27,000-ton warship. We have thousands of tons of water. You want to bail it out like a rowboat?" It sounded insane. It sounded like trying to empty a swimming pool with a teaspoon. It was, mathematically, a joke. But McCaffrey didn't back down. He argued back. "The pumps are broken," he said. "The valves are melted. You have no other option. We have 3,000 men. If every man moves a bucket, we become the pump." Desperate, with the ship groaning under the weight of the water, a lieutenant commander finally looks at McCaffrey and says, "Fine. Try it." McCaffrey organizes the chaos. He doesn't use technology, he uses manpower. He grabs every sailor he can find, cooks, clerks, mechanics, and forms them into lines. They snake from the deep, flooded compartments, up the ladders, through the smoke-filled hallways, all the way to the edge of the deck. They grab trash cans, ammunition boxes, helmets, cooking pots, anything that can hold liquid. And the human pump begins to move. It is grueling, back-breaking labor. Men are standing in toxic smoke, their skin blistering from the heat, passing heavy buckets of oily, bloody water hand to hand. Up one line, dump it over the side. Pass the empty bucket down the other line. Repeat. One bucket is nothing, but 1,000 buckets a minute? That is a river. McCaffrey works harder than anyone. He stands in the line for 12 hours straight. His hands are bleeding, his muscles are cramping, but he refuses to stop. He knows that if the line stops, the ship flips. For hours, it looks like it isn't working. The water is still rising. The ship, by the next morning, the fires were out. The water was gone. The Bunker Hill was a wreck, a floating graveyard. But it was floating. The cost was staggering. 346 men died. 264 were wounded. It was one of the deadliest attacks on a U.S. ship in the war. But the ship itself survived. It didn't capsize. It was towed back to port, rebuilt, and served for years to come. Joseph McCaffrey, the sailor who was almost laughed out of the room, was awarded the Navy Cross. His citation explicitly stated that his suggestion to use bucket brigades contributed materially to saving the ship. He wasn't an admiral. He wasn't a scientist. He was a guy who realized that sometimes, when the million-dollar computers and the heavy machinery fail, the only thing that can save you is the sheer stubborn will of a human being with a bucket. This story is taught in Navy damage control schools to this day. It's a reminder that in a crisis, rank doesn't matter. Technology doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the solution. The Japanese thought the divine wind would destroy the American fleet. They thought their suicide planes were an unstoppable technological terror. But they forgot one thing. You can blow up the pumps. You can destroy the radar. You can set the deck on fire. But you cannot break the spirit of a crew that refuses to sink. The USS Bunker Hill was saved not by a weapon, but by a bucket. And that is why history remembers the sailor who was smart enough to look like an idiot.